Welcome back to Professor Dr. Beerendra Pandey's class on the art of writing argument synthesis essay. The topic that we are dealing today is customary morality cannot be a guide to modernity. This is a very controversial topic. I'll explain to you how it is controversial in the next slide, but for now just remember that it's a controversial topic. And when you are given a topic which is controversial, you are required to write the essay in the genre of argumentative synthesis essay or argumentative essay. You have to respect the generic conventions. So, this is our topic. Customary morality cannot be guide to modern life or modernity. This is our topic. And in what sense is it controversial? Is it controversial because its authoritative meaning and its contradictory meaning, both meanings are equally compelling. Customary morality cannot be a guide or cannot be guide to modern life, looks very true. And equally true looks the opposite of it, the contradiction to it. That is, customary morality can indeed be a guide to modern life. So because of these two contrary positions, this essay becomes controversial and requires you to treat it as a genre of argumentative writing or argument synthesis essay. There are particular ways of doing this, and this is where I am taking you to. Section 1. Section 1 talks about approaches to a position argument. Before you take a position, before you try to understand the statement, before that, you must be familiar with position argument. You must know things that you should keep in mind as you read a position argument statement. And the first thing in this familiarity, first thing is the feature. What are the features of a position argument? So a position argument takes or takes up a controversial issue, engages with a controversial issue. This is the first thing that you have to keep in mind. And when we say a controversial issue or a controversial position, what that means is that, neither this position is 100% right, nor the opposite position is 100% wrong. Both, you can choose both the positions or any of the two positions. When you took any of the two positions, you go either for the statement or against the statement. If you take both the positions, then your approach becomes in between. So this is what I am trying to make clear to you through this slide. See here, no obvious right answer, no single authority everyone trusts. Then, how to deal with this? Dealing this kind of essay with facts or information. To settle this controversy or to settle this dispute, this is a non-starter. In order to write this essay, if you merely bring facts, okay, if you merely bring information, then you do not meet the generic requirement. You do not meet the generic requirement. What you need here is argument. And for that argument, you can bring facts or information. But bringing in facts and information without leading to argument, if you do that, your essay does not meet the generic requirement. You will not pass the exam. So keep this in mind. Very important. Okay, next thing. A matter of informed opinion. A matter of informed opinion and judgment for which writers must argue. Argue. You argue your position, it is like in a debate. You know, if two people are debating on a topic, both have a clear-cut positions and those positions can be quite contrary. And both of them argue their position very forcefully, very convincingly, very cogently. In this kind of essay, this is what you do. But when you do so, you must display two things: your critical judgment and the fact that the things that you bring in belong to the realm of informed opinion. Then, fourth important thing is substantiation. This is the key word. Substantiations. You must be able to substantiate your position. And for this substantiation, you may need argument, you may need claim, you may need support, you may need counter argument. So these are some of the important features of a position argument essay, and be aware of these features as you move on. So now you are ready. Having familiarized yourself with the features of a position argument essay, now you are ready to begin to understand the position argument statement. Okay, so let's look at bullet point number 1. Bullet point number 1 just gives us our topic. This is the given topic. This is the given topic. Then the rest of the bullet point gives us 3 steps. First, Again, first, we should concentrate on the content words. And what is meant by content word? I had made its concept sufficiently clear in my very first lecture. Content words are nouns, verbs, adjectives, and adverbs. The opposite of the content word is the function word. Function words are grammatical words like articles, auxiliary verbs, pronouns. These things are function words, are not important from the meaning point of view. Only content words are important from the meaning point of view. So let us see which are the content words in this statement. These are, this is adjective, customary, this is noun, this is again noun, and this is again adjective and noun. Okay. So there are 4 content words, 5 content words. Actually there are only 4, because this modern life is actually modernity. So once you have zeroed in on the content words, then you substitute those words with synonyms. This is the technique I had taught you in the previous on the previous topic also. The same thing, the same technique you bring into play. So customary here has been substituted with traditional or conventional. You can substitute that word with traditional or conventional or established conduct or even righteousness. You can substitute that customary with these things. This not righteousness. Righteousness is morality. Morality is righteousness. You can substitute righteousness with morality. Guide with teacher, and modernity with new change. So when you substitute the content words in this ways, then you translate the statement into your own words, and you will get a statement something like this. Established notions of virtue and vice cannot be guideline values in modernity, which thrives not on conventional continuity but new change. Because the righteousness, when you say righteousness, what is right also implies what is wrong. So morality is something that has direct connection with the notions of the right and the wrong. And customary means established. So established notions of virtue and vice, what is right and what is wrong. The statement says cannot be guideline values in modernity, because modernity moves forward not because of conventional continuity but because of new change, progress. Okay, so this is how you understand the given topic. Now that you have understood the given topic, you must develop a position statement. A position statement for yourself. And how can you do that? So let's learn that from this slide. Begin by explaining briefly but clearly to clarify the implicit issue. So here you need to clarify the implicit issue. If it is issue, then it means that there is not just one line, there is also the opposite line. and you must be clear about both the lines. Clarify both sides of the issue by hitting upon an antithesis. So what is the way of doing that? The way of doing that is hitting upon an antithesis. Antithesis means opposite view. Opposite view. And what is that opposite view? This is what makes it opposite view. Customary morality can be a guide to modern life. The statement says it cannot be, and the opposite view tells it can be. So this is how the statement becomes an issue. Now that the issue is clear to you, you are required to take a stand. So take a stand. Now your stand can be in favor of, or to, or this 3. 1, 2, 3. You can take any of the 3 stands. You can be in favor of the topic, you can go against the topic, or you can take an in-between position. You may say, okay, it looks good, it looks truthful, but the opposite part also looks truthful. So although I go by the statement, I am not dismissing it altogether. You can take that kind of in-between position also. But it is very important that you be clear about your standpoint. You can take either of these 3 standpoints. Thereafter, only thereafter you give the thesis statement. Okay, and this thesis, what is a thesis statement? This is a claim. Okay, a thesis statement is a claim. In argumentative statement, in argumentative essay, a thesis statement is a claim either in favor of the statement or against the statement, or related to the in-between position. That claim, when informed readers read, and your examiner, your scorer will be one such informed reader, that claim should sound very convincing, cogently convincing to him or her. So only then your thesis will be, effective. And all through the essay, you must be supporting, you must be, strengthening your claim with a very convincing support. So always support your claim. So this is how you will develop the position argument. So now be familiar with, get acquainted with some of the technical things related to this essay. These technical things constitute the elements of argument, and you must be clear about those technical words. These are claim 1, support 2, and assumption 3. These are the technical words which constitute the elements of an argument. Claim. What is a claim? A claim is a proposition or conclusion. A claim is a statement that you are trying to prove. That's claim. Okay? Then how is the claim proved? claim is proved by using support. You see this? Support. You prove your claim by giving support. What is support mean? Well, support can mean fact A, expert opinion B. So, informed information, expert opinion, telling effective examples from experience, these things become support to your claim. And the thing that links the claim to the support. In argumentative essay, this becomes very, see how many times I am repeating the word, that very important. And that very important thing is the assumption. It is the assumption that must link your support, which will be in the form of informed opinion, fact, or expert opinion, or very telling or effective examples. Those kind of things which constitute the support to strengthen the claim must be bolstered by an assumption, by a hypothesis. So, you see, here when you wrote the earlier essay on an abstract topic, this meticulous kind of attention was not required when you were trying to, or when we were trying to substantiate our point. But here, you have to be meticulously careful that whenever I bring a claim, the claim must have a support, and my hypothesis must provide a link between the support and the claim. I make you understand this thing with an example. So, this is the claim, you see. This is a problem for high schools or for high school students. High school students should be restricted to no more than 2 hours of TV viewing per day. Television is a major concern for high school teachers, and it is a major issue for high school students. Students who spend more than 2 hours of time watching television, they do so only at the neglect of their studies. So this is why, suppose you are going to a school to get your relatives or your children get admitted in the school, and the school principal tells you, sir or madam, please do not allow your children to watch television for more than 2 hours a day. Okay, why should you buy this claim? Why should you buy this claim? Why should you, go by it? Because this claim has a support. And what is that support? Let us see the support. Okay. An important new study and the testimony of educational specialists revealed that students who watch more than 2 hours of TV a night have on average lower grades than those who watch less TV. So there have been studies, and there have been the experiences of the teachers, and they have shared their experiences in their writing, whether published as a book or in the form of books or articles or opinions in newspapers. Okay, studies are there, opinions are there, So if you bring things as I have done here, I have brought in things from a study, and also I have brought in the opinions of the teachers. So these two things make my claim very effective. Sorry, my support very effective. And when my support is very effective here means credible. If my support is very credible, then it will very powerfully prove the claim. But there is a link. That link is the assumption or hypothesis. What is that link? See, this is the link. Excessive TV viewing or watching adversely affects academic performance. So what is the assumption behind the claim which is based on that support? The power of the claim comes from the support. The support becomes very telling. But why the support becomes very telling? Because the support has an assumption which links the support to the claim. And the assumption is, or the hypothesis is, that excessive TV watching, what does it do? It kills or badly affects the academic performance of students. So in this way, whenever you bring a claim, you should have a support, and the link between the claim and the support must be explicit with a placing of assumption or hypothesis. Then another requirement in argumentative synthesis essay is that you need to be consistently logical. There must be a very strong appeal of logic, and part of that cogency of the logic or logical statement comes from that interrelationship between claim, support and assumption, which I talked about. But here there are two technical things about this that you must figure out, that you must know. There are two kinds of logical statements. One is deductive logic or deductive argument, and another is inductive logic or inductive argument. So let us understand what deductive logic is. In my previous very first class I had talked about this briefly and promised you that I would be talking about it in a comprehensive way in next classes, and this is what I am doing today, giving you a very comprehensive information about logic. See, in deductive logic there are three things. One is this generalization. Second is a specific case, and this generalization, this is also generalization, this is also, and this is third, conclusion. So your conclusion is your claim. Your conclusion is a claim. For example, here, claim is Smita Sharma will die. Suppose Smita Sharma is your colleague, right? When I say she is your colleague, her age may be in the mid-20s. And me telling you that somebody who is in the mid-20s will die, it may look unpalatable to you. It may be difficult for you to, take my claim as logical. But see how I am making it logical. First of all, what I do, Step number one that I take is that I generalize this. I give a very generalized statement, and that generalized statement is this: all living things die. Those who are born have to die one day. Okay? And then you come from the general to the specific. Give a specific statement. Now you give the specific. What is that a specific? This makes it a specific. A human being, because a human being being a living thing, dies. When all living things die one day, it is but natural that a human being will also die someday, one day. Therefore, now the conclusion or the claim, so or therefore, Smita Sharma, even if she is of 25 years of age or in her 20s, may die. Now, this claim looks very logical. So, when you are presenting your logic in this way, you are actually utilizing the appeal of deductive logic. And there is also another logic, that is inductive. What happens in inductive logic? Well, here a speaker or writer argues inductively. What does that inductively means? Begins not with a generalization but with a question. That contains an implicit hypothesis, specific evidences, and the conclusion emerging therefrom. In inductive logic, we do not begin with a generalized statement as we did in deductive logic. Here we begin with a question. For example, this question: how did the living room window get broken? The living room window of your house got broken. And you ask the question, how did it get broken? Okay? And you try to answer that question with evidence. And that evidence, in a way, becomes the implicit hypothesis. So, what is that evidence? Well, there is a cricket ball on the living room floor. You see the window broken, the window glass broken, and you also see a cricket ball in the living room. So what does that mean? What does that mean is that those people or children or players or individuals who were playing cricket in the street, okay, while playing a shot, perhaps one of the shots broke the window, and this is why the ball is in the living room. So let's see the evidence here. There is a cricket ball on the living room floor. The ball was not there this morning. Some children were playing cricket in the street across the window this afternoon. They stopped playing a little while ago, and they are not in the street lot now. So, from this evidence, you come to the conclusion that one of the children, this is the conclusion, one of the children hit or threw the ball through the window, because of which the window glass got broken, and they all ran away. And then you come to the conclusion, the claim, the conclusive argument, and the conclusive argument is this: one of Those children playing cricket broke the living room window. So if you place your argument in this way, your argument becomes, or your argument carries the appeal of inductive logic. Now, when you are writing argumentative essay, depending on the flow of thought, you can use deductive logic, you can use inductive logic, or you can use both. Sprinkle your writing with both patches of deductive logic and inductive logic. Even if you use only one kind of logic, that is also okay, it doesn't matter much. Then we come to remember in my first lecture I had told you that rhetoric is also important. If logic makes our essay cogent, convincing, the use of rhetoric makes our essay powerfully persuasive. Logic appeals to our mind and rhetoric appeals to our heart, our emotions. And a good writer should also be able to cultivate the art of packing their writing with emotions. If you have participated in debates, and those people who are very good at debating, they not only use arguments, but they also use rhetoric to make themselves persuasive. So this is why I am here teaching you, giving you idea about rhetoric. There are four kinds, there are four devices in rhetoric. These are kairos, ethos, logos, and pathos. I do not need to talk about logos because when I say logic, this has already been discussed just with the help of previous 3 slides. Just now I talked about logos. So I do not need to talk about logos. Logos is a done part, done thing. Kairos. Kairos means context. Ethos means ethics. And pathos means emotion. You really need not bother about kairos, because the statement that you are given to write your essay on, it is not necessary for you, and it is not even possible for you to know the context in which that statement has come. Therefore, you should not, try to contextualize the statement. Do not do that, because it is simply impossible for you to know the right context. So leave that. Just concentrate on these 3, and this I have already talked. So this one, ethos and pathos. So here I am talking about ethos. Ethos is ethical appeal. What does it say? This ethical appeal is based on the ethical status of the person making the appeal. This person carries certain degree or high degree of credibility. So in your argumentative synthesis essay, if you are bringing in the views or the opinions or the claims or the statements of very renowned people, say like Einstein, like Mahatma Gandhi, or very renowned scholars like say Rabindranath Tagore, or Burton Russell, etc., etc. Okay. So if you quote from them, because the statement of those persons carry high degree of credibility, therefore your essay, if you bring them, your essay acquires the power of, or takes on the power of, ethical appeal. Two examples I have given, like this example you may be very familiar, because this statement comes from that advertisement. A commercial about a specific brand of toothpaste says that 4 out of 5 dentists use it. If you have, you might have seen this Colgate toothpaste advertisement so many times, when a doctor says that 4 out of 5 doctors in India recommend the use of Colgate, right? So, you know, this advertisement, by thus mobilizing the ethical appeal, becomes or sounds very credible to the consumer or to the audience. Look at the second one. A writer may show ethos through his or her tone. Sometimes you may display or exhibit your ethos through your tone in your writing. Okay. Suppose you are somebody who has done a lot for the beautification of your, say, your town or your village or your city or your street, and you are, you know, trying to be emotional, and you can actually be very effectively be emotional here, not for the appeal of emotion, but for the ethical appeal. See how? Look at this example. A writer may show ethos through his or her tone, such as taking care to show more than one side of an issue before arguing for her side. When you use a counter argument to show an opposing idea to an issue before explaining why your thesis is still correct, you use ethos. So suppose there is a drive in your city. There is a drive in your city to deforest the area. To deforest the area for setting up, say, a power plant. And you are writing against it, that this, you know, trees should not be cut down. And you are somebody who have invested a lot in greening your city. So there, if you know, you bring the counter, if you just be emotional, you are so much emotionally invested, and you say completely that your your disagreement is completely valid, without giving due consideration to the logic for building a power plant, then you do not sound, you know, logical. You do not sound persuasive. You become very strident. Very strident. But you can bring all the emotional appeal that comes out of your investment into greening the city. But if you give due, if you also buy the logic, if you also explain to your reader, okay, building a power plant is necessary for these reasons. I can see why the government is trying to deforest and build a power plant over here. But still, this is how it is not a good thing. If you bring counter argument in this way, then you sound ethical. You sound ethical. So ethics also means this thing. Then we come to appeal of pathos, appeal of emotion. What this appeal of emotion? You appeal to your audiences, their emotions, the audience's emotions. And some people say, why to use emotions fused statements in argumentative essay? It is not good. Some people may say so, but actually it is not so. It is actually very good that sometimes you also become emotional. The very example, I was telling you before. Look at this example. See, I am not just invested in this community. I love every building, every business, every hard-working member of this town. Okay? So somebody is saying, I know every flower, I know every tree, I know every bird, because I have invested so much in the greening of this city. This kind of a statement, only brings emotional power. It invokes emotions in the readers. But as I just said earlier, if you are able to balance this appeal of emotion with ethical appeal, then this very evocation of emotion adds high intensity to your essay. Your essay becomes convincing and persuasive at the same time. So this is why here and there you should also bring in pathos, but in a very chastened, controlled way. Then we come to the second section of our presentation today, which is about the writing process on this topic. What is the topic? Again, customary morality cannot be a guide to modern life. This is the topic. And what is the writing process? As I told you in the last class, the writing process starts with brainstorming. And when you brainstorm, you just brainstorm, just think out ideas, right? The same technique which I taught you in the previous class, the same technique, you apply the same technique over here. Just think out ideas on the topic. And when you think out ideas, do not list them. And that you do not list, that I have not listed my ideas over here. That is suggested by the bullet points on the left. And then after I had brainstormed the ideas, then I gave the ideas an order. The kind of this order I gave, I had a certain kind of a logic. Based on that logic, I gave order to this idea. So just first of all, just look at the idea. Local and not universal realm. Customary morality is a matter of local realm, not universal realm. This is the idea, first idea that came to my mind. Ethical life of an actual society, which is ethical truth, is nothing but custom. So custom is nothing but ethical truth, and visibility of this customary morality can be seen in usages, codes, social institutions, and this visibility gives us the notion of right or wrong. doing something is right, doing something is wrong. For vegetarian India, eating plant food is right, eating animal food is wrong. Right? For the Muslim, it may not be so. Rationality contradicts morality. A conservative habit hence cannot lead the way to modernity. Science makes morality look irrational. Popularity of astrology in India despite remarkable knowledge of space science. Obedience to morality at the cost of rationality strengthens the regime of outmodedness and superstition. Love versus the social institution of marriage as an example of the contradiction between morality and modernity. Modernity needs its foil morality for its manifestation. Still unacceptability of living relationships and divorces in India. A society strong in customary morality resists change or modernity as categorical evil and a corruption of the community. Examples from the Arabian world. India marks a welcome departure from both Arabia and the postmodern West. Hindu notions of asceticism, self-renunciation and acceptable behavior in relations with others giving way to self-discovery and self-realization, and these things are a far cry in the West. Case of India shows that customary morality, not idea, morality, customary morality does not offer escape from its antinomy with modernity. Self-knowledge leads to moral wrestling whereby the useless is rejected and the useful is adopted. So in this way, 15 ideas flowed out of my mind when I brainstormed on this topic. As I said in my previous lecture, the number of ideas and the quality of ideas that flow out of your mind is largely dependent on your experience of your life as well as your reading experiences. You may not be able to come out with as many ideas as I have or as powerful ideas as I have come up with, but doesn't matter. What matters is that you think up ideas, and whatever ideas you hit upon, you give them a proper order and you depend on them. You trust your own ability. Trusting your own ability is a major step towards your success in your UPSC examination. Okay. Now, right hand side, see this 2-number idea I have grouped as 1, and first idea comes as idea number 2, idea number 3 in the order comes as 3, idea number 4 comes as 5, idea number 5 comes as 4. So what I mean to say is that this is the order that I have given, and there is a logic behind this ordering, and this logic becomes clearer when I chunk these ordered ideas into paragraphs. So paragraph 1, for paragraph 1 I have taken ideas number 1 to 5 from that ordered list. These are as number 1, ethical life of an actual society whose ethical truth is nothing but custom, local and not universal realm. Visibility in usages, courts, institutions engenders the notion of right and wrong, may become a conservative habit and hence cannot lead the way to modernity. Rationality contradicts morality. So ideas number 1 to 5 from my ordered list I have for paragraph number 1. And why I have these ideas for paragraph number 1? Because these ideas point towards this main idea. Through these ideas, I have tried to give a definition, to provide a definition of customary morality, the nature of its operation, how does it operate, and its prima facie relationship with modernity. So these 5 ideas will prove this main idea of the first paragraph. Then again, for paragraph number 2, I have ideas from number 6 to number 10. Rationality contradicts morality. Love versus the social institution of marriage as an example of the contradiction between morality and modernity. Still, unacceptability of living relationships and divorces in India. Obedience to morality at the cost of rationality strengthens the regime of outmodedness and superstition. Popularity of astrology in India despite remarkable knowledge of space science. So, this another set of 5 ideas, that is ideas from number 6 to number 10, are being mobilized by me in order to prove this main idea. This is the main idea of paragraph 2. Binary opposition between passion and rationality at the center of the antinomy between morality and modernity. So there is clear-cut antithesis or antonymous relationship between modernity and morality. And what is at the center of this antinomy? The center of this antinomy is the polarity or the polarization between passion and rationality. Passion and rationality are contrary to each other. Okay? And customary stickling upon customary morality makes us passionate about that thing. Rationality wants us to give that up. Passion wants us to stick to that. And at the heart of this antinomous relationship between modernity and morality lies the polarization between rationality and passion. I am making clear that thing so that the statement becomes critically, analytically very illuminating and hence very logical. Then for paragraph number 3, I am using just 2 ideas. Ideas from 11 to 12. A society strong in customary morality resists change or modernity as categorically evil and a corruption of the community. And examples that I have are from the Arabian world. And I give a contrasting example of India. India marks a welcome departure from both Arabia and the postmodern West. Hindu notions of asceticism, self-renunciation and acceptable behavior in relations with others giving way to self-discovery and self-realization, a far cry in the West. First of all, let me make these 2 ideas clear to you before I go to the main idea. So see, we see 3 trends. One is the Western trend. What is the West's attitude to modernity? The West claims itself to be very rational. They dabble in materiality. Very strongly they dabble in materiality. They lead a very strong material life. Therefore, morality does not matter in the West. And the result is that the West today calls itself a postmodern society, and they define postmodernity as something which is okay with the decline of morality, with the loss of morality. Okay, so we have this one West. At one point, we have the West. At its opposite extreme point is the Arabia, Muslim Arabia. In countries like Saudi Arabia and even United Arab UAE and other Gulf countries, because of the money of the while, you may see a physical presence of modernity there. Very wide roads, very large buildings, But so far as outlook is concerned, their outlook is still steeped in customary Muslim morality. So, 21st century Arabia stands at extreme, point. If West is at the extreme point of rationality, Arabia is at the extreme reverse, opposite extreme point of orthodox morality. Where does India come in? India comes in between. India occupies a hybrid space. We are very receptive to modernity, but we are not averse to customary morality. We inhabit a hybrid space, a third space, which is neither 100% like that of the rational West and not like that of the orthodox Arabian. It's the in-between space. And based on these two ideas, I have this main idea. This main idea is third space that India occupies, both unlike Arabia and the West, is an inimitable model of adaptation to morality. Unique kind of adaptation. India's approach to both modernity and morality is actually a unique kind of adaptation to modernity. So this idea I am trying to prove through this paragraph, and then we come to the fourth and the final paragraph of final body paragraph of our essay. And for this I have selected three ideas from 13, not 11 to 13 to 15, 13, 14, 15. What are these ideas? These are: case of India shows that customary idea does not offer escape from its antinomy with modernity. Self-knowledge leads to moral wrestling, whereby the useless is rejected and the useful is adopted. Modernity needs its foil morality for its manifestation. And based on these three ideas, I have this main idea. Morality and modernity need each other. Just think, if there would have been no Ram, sorry, I put it the wrong way. If there would have been no Ravan, would there have been the importance and all the implications that importance carries, the importance of Ram? So what makes Ram meaningfully workable is the presence of his foil, Ravan. Okay, so in the same way, modernity needs morality. That is my logic. And by bringing in this logic, in this paragraph, with the help of these three ideas, actually I am finally proving my standpoint that despite the antinomy between morality and modernity, morality can still be a guide to modernity. Okay, so this is how I have conceptualized this essay, and based on this conceptualization, I have this structure of the essay. This is the structure. Before you start writing, be very clear. Make a mind map of the structure in your mind before you start writing. So you can utilize this slide as a mind map. This is my thesis statement. Despite the antinomy between customary morality and modern life, the former can still be a guide to the latter. This is what I am trying to prove. And this thesis statement I prove with the help of three main ideas. One main idea is this, another main idea is this, and this is the third main idea. With the help of three main ideas of the body paragraphs, I proved that thesis statement. Body paragraph number 1, what does it do? It, discusses the polarization between passion and rationality as dramatizing the antinomy between morality and modernity. And then body paragraph number 2 talks about India's third space, which comes out as a unique model of adaptation to modernity. And I pounce upon the idea in that paragraph to arrive at a new idea in paragraph number 3, which is morality and modernity need each other, and then I come to the conclusion. So this is how I have conceptualized the essay. Now, when you talk of conclusion of an argument synthesis essay, like the previous essay, we do more or less the same thing. In the previous essay, we said that we should give a recommendation kind of a statement. We should round off with a recommendation kind of a statement. That is the only thing we do not do while concluding an argumentative essay. Otherwise, other things are the same. Okay, so now I come to the end of my lecture today. In my next lecture, I will show you the whole draft of the essay. And as I did with the previous topic, I will analyze my draft to further make you internalize the elements at work in the writing of an essay on this topic in the mode of argument synthesis, so that you are able to learn the art of the craft of writing an argumentative essay. So see you in the next class. Thank you.